And good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for February's information session for New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. The topic today is going to be New York State's Small Business Credit Initiative, also known as SSBCI, and how it supports agriculture. I know that we live in a virtual world. I'm Damali Winter, Assistant Commissioner at New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. So always want to give people a little time to transition between virtual meetings. So we'll start in about a minute. We'll talk a little bit about the additional resources available from the department and then just jump into the presentation. But for now, just give people a chance to look over the agenda. And thank you for your patience. And good afternoon again for those that are just joining us. I was just saying that we live in a virtual world, so trying to give people a moment to transition between meetings before we get started. Right now, you should be able to see the agenda on the screen. If you can't, just let me know. Everyone should be muted at this time, but I am looking at the chat. I'm going to go back and forth, so my apologies if you're losing eye contact with me. I'm working between different screens. For those that don't know me, I'm Damali Winter, Assistant Commissioner at New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. So your patience is appreciated. We'll start in about a minute. Thank you. Hello, Ray. Okay. All right. So right now, I think we've given everybody a bit of time to transition, including Ray. Hi, Ray. And again, those of you that are joining, thank you for joining us. This is our February 1st of 2025 information session from New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. The topic is New York State Small Business Credit Initiative and their supports of agriculture, also known as SSBCI. Following along with the agenda, just so you're aware, these meetings are recorded. They are going to be posted online, so people have access to this information. We're just going to go over some of the additional resources available through the department, and then just jump right into the presentation. You'll have time to, ask questions and all of that. For whatever reason your question isn't answered in the moment, we'll talk about different means of kind of follow-up and all of that. So with that, we're just going to jump into this. As I mentioned before, again, for those that are just joining, Damali Winter from Assistant Commissioner, New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. There is a whole bunch of resources available through the department. We have a very big push on letting people know. There are different programs, resources. Not all of it is funding, but there is a lot more support than people seem to be aware. Coming from the department, for those of you that might have tapped into, your CCEs, Cornell Cooperative Extensions, SWCDs, Soil Water Conservation Districts, different types of funding, your Cornell Small Farms, all of those kind of organizations, plus more available through the website. If you're saying here, for whatever reason, my needs are distinct, please let us know so we can put that on our radar if something's being missed. But to our knowledge, when there's an absence of anyone letting us know, we're under the impression we've met that need. Just so you're aware of those different types of resources available now. On the screen right now, we have one information session, which you're attending right now. We have these about once a month. They are topic-based. These topics are focused on different questions that we get most often, or information that people just inquire about in general on this end, and we just talk to our different people internally and externally about what is the key information that you want people to know. That would make some of these follow-up questions a little bit easier. So you can go to our website and find some of the past information sessions we have. We have them on grant making fundamentals. We have them on understanding government. We have them on soil water conservation districts. We have one on just going through our website and learning more about the outreach resources. Secondly, we have open office hours. These happen twice a month. The next ones will be next Tuesday at 6 to 7 p.m. and Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. We have those specifically to talk to individual stakeholders. They were all virtual, and it is an open time of just hearing things in context of what's going on with agriculture. It's also a time, if you're getting any of those, and going on to number 3, any of these newsletters. We have our monthly harvest, which is the general newsletter from the department, and we also have our information opportunities newsletter, really focused on some of the news that goes kind of under the radar, specifically for, underrepresented and underserved communities, adding more context to, a little blurb. And frankly, there's a lot going on and a lot of inboxes these days, especially with newsletters. So this is just trying to make sure that information is really understood on your end. All of this is available through the main website. That's highlighted number 4, agriculture.ny.gov is the main website for the Department of Agriculture. Highly recommend you go through that. We try to be very thorough, make sure those links are very much alive and well as if you're trying to get that, that specific information regarding a farmer's market or like one of our, Taste New York programs, things like that. You'll find that towards the end of each page, you will find your way to, a direct email address or a phone number of who to contact. We also have a just general kind of diversity in agriculture webpage, took in a lot of feedback, and it basically came down to how do people find information if they don't know where to go. A lot of that information is on the Diversity in Agriculture webpage. That webpage talks about beginning farmers. That webpage talks about different sources even outside of the government for specific demographics. So if you're a woman in farming, BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous people of color, veterans, youth, all of that. Sometimes when it comes to all the resources available, government can't have its focus everywhere. So recognizing that, identifying different groups that are available and providing those supports, that's there as well. In addition to connecting with the different newsletters, connecting with different training programs, et cetera, et cetera. And last but not least, we have number 6, that outreach@agriculture.ny.gov. If you're going through all of this information, you have no idea where to go, but you still want to, ask this question and get an answer, we encourage you to send an email to outreach@agriculture.ny.gov. Being thoughtful, need time to respond. That email address literally is taking in questions from around the world on all types of things. So that is not the email address you use if you want your question answered, same day or tomorrow. That will take some time, but that is a resource. If you're like, here, I have an inquiry regarding agriculture and I don't know where to go, that is your one place that you can go. So those are a little something regarding your support. I know everyone here definitely wants to learn more about SSBCI. Again, that's New York State Small Business Credit Initiative. That's how it supports agriculture. We have Ray Salaberrios. He's a Senior VP with the Division of Small Business Capital Access at Empire State Development. He has been great when it comes to sharing this information. He has been very supportive when it comes to agriculture with New York State, getting our underserved, underrepresented farmers operations, trying to get them whatever attention and support is available. So thank you very much, Ray, for keeping us on mind. And with that, he is going to go through his program that he has for presentations. When it comes to questions, I encourage you, please type them out in the chat. And I'm going to go back and forth, and depending on the timing of his slides, I'll either kind of present it in the moment, or there will be time for questions toward the end. But if you have those questions, I encourage you to please type them up and engage. This is a really good opportunity to get your questions asked in a moment. And with that, I hand it over to Ray Salaberrios. Oh, Ray, you're muted. Oh, still muted. Uh-oh. Okay. It's next to the camera button, the mic one. If mic has a little X, it's still muted. You know what? I'm going to see if I can unmute you on my end. All right, try it again. All right, you should be able to unmute. No? Okay. We're holding for tech support. Ray is going to figure out. Okay, time out. All right. So time out while Ray's figured out what's going on with tech over at ESD. That said, if you guys do have any additional questions when it comes to the additional supports that I just mentioned, I'm going to use this time to go back into the slides here and go back to the agriculture.ny.gov webpage. And excuse me, as I'm now going to share actually directly onto the screen here. And for those of you that have chat access, please let me know if you're not seeing a shared screen, which is a website.
We're good now?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Amazing.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right. We'll save that for another day to learn more about some of the resource links and everything. But, all right, going right into Ray. Sorry about that, Ray. Please.
All right. So, why don't you go on to the next slide? Okay, so the idea of our commitment to agribusinesses is that we want to make sure that for agribusinesses to thrive, they have to adapt. We think they have to adapt to the shifting economic conditions, evolving consumer preferences and technological advances. So small agribusinesses, like many of you here, need access to capital. So what we're trying to do is increase the access to capital, making the access to capital easy, sort of uncomplicating what folks seems to think is a complicated process. So the New York State Small Business Credit Initiative is committed to empowering New York State agriculture by providing market rate, flexible capital, and we want to ensure that agribusinesses have the resources they need to grow, compete, and succeed. Next slide. So we're going to go over the programs, and I will go individually how each one can work for the business owners who are present at this event. So we'll start with our Capital Access Program. So the Capital Access Program provides insurance for participating lenders, right? So the idea is that what we want to do is incentivize the lender to say yes to you, right? So we have designed this program so that we'll create a loan loss reserve for the lender. What that means is if you go to a bank to borrow money, and they are part of our Capital Access Program, then whatever the dollar amount's going to be, may ask you to provide 1% of the loan. They'll put in 1% of the loan, and then we'll match that 2% with 2% of our funds. So now we've created a 4% loan loss reserve for them for a loan. So if you have a loan of $30,000, 4% of $30,000, it's a good sum for them to have. So what this does, it allows them to increase their comfort level with you, so that obviously they're going to first do their underwriting, and if you are close to getting a loan, then this Capital Access Program would help them move you forward. We've had tremendous success in the past with it. It has been a game changer for many small business owners. We want to make sure that the agribusiness owner understands that the same programs that are helpful to the baker or to the gasoline stations are helpful to you. So the Capital Access Program is one, and as Damali said early on, there's a contact person at the end that you can contact us. All these things are on our website. So you can go right to our website and see more in program about it. Now, contractor financing program, again, this probably won't, if you think about it, what this is, if you have a contract, a state contract, say for instance, you're selling their produce and they want to get a contract from you. What we can do is provide you the funds you need to fund that contract. So the contractor financing program is not just for folks that are building stuff or painting and things of that nature. If you have a contract and you need the working capital to deploy and execute this contract, then the contractor financing program is just what you need. So the way we try to incentivize the lenders is by guaranteeing 50% of the loan. Let me repeat that. We are incentivizing the lenders by guaranteeing 50% of the loan. So in this case here, I'm not sure how many of you farmers or in agribusinesses that actually have contracts where you provide a service and then you get paid for that service. So many times we know that New York State and many of our agencies don't pay you within 30 days. So instead of you scrambling around to try to get the working capital to fund this contract, we'll provide you the funds and we'll do contracts for up to $500,000. Right, so we partner with CDFI. It says here MTA, New York City airports, but any New York State agency. So I'm sure that there are agencies now that are purchasing product directly from an agribusiness. So that agribusiness, we can help finance that contract purchase by funding the contract and providing you the working capital you need to move forward. I don't think the bonding guarantee program worked per se, in that bonding is a separate instrument. So unless you're actually building something or working on building something, you need bonding. That's probably where that comes into play. I could be mistaken, but I just don't associate bonding with agribusiness, and I question why my team has this on the slide. But it's there. If you are involved with any type of bonding or need a bond, we can assist you with the bonding. Next slide. So the next two programs are really geared toward business owners, and as an agribusiness, you qualify. Now, the New York Forward Loan Fund, as it says here, so New York Forward Loan Fund allows you to get loans up to $150,000, right? They're market rate, interest based, and the process is relatively painless. You can go online, you fill out a preliminary application, and then they'll match you with a lender. And that lender, in turn, will reach out to you directly to help you through the process. So what happens is, in the case of the New York Forward Loan Fund, you have the ability to select a lender, because they may give you 2 or 3 lenders to pick from. You're probably best to pick the lender geographically is closest to you. Right, so the idea is, again, is this program is set up to help you grow your business. And let's take a step back, right? So we know that small businesses in general have difficulty accessing capital, right? Going to a bank at times doesn't always work, right? And alternative lenders at times can be a little costly. So what New York State has done is stand up these programs with the mindset that New York State is going to lower your cost of capital. New York State is going to help you get access, increase your access to capital. Because when you grow, the rest of us grow. It's good for all of us. So New York Forward Loan Fund, I suggest you folks go on our website, esd.ny.gov, esd.ny.gov, and you can find more information on the New York Forward Loan Fund. Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, similar, except in this case, you are dealing with CDFIs throughout the state. But again, we provide capital to them, low-cost capital. right? So we're lending the participating CDFIs capital. And we've gone to the point of $56 million. Now they have to match that capital dollar for dollar. So our program, the Small Business Revolving Loan Fund, is over $100 million in capital that can be used for small business owners. And again, the agribusiness sector is eligible for these loans. Now these loans go anywhere from $10,000 to $250,000. Right? So that gives you the opportunity now to really move forward when you need capital. Again, on our website, esd.ny.gov, you can get information on a Small Business Revolving Loan Fund. You have all the lenders, and then you could begin the process of reaching out to them and begin the loan process. Right. And I suggest that if you speak to a lender, you can just tell them, oh, I was on a webinar with Ray Salaberrios, and he told me you guys can help me. Either that's going to get you accelerated. I think dropping my name is going to be helpful. At least they'll pay attention knowing that you have spoken with me and that we are in sync in trying to make sure that your business has every opportunity to get the capital it needs to grow. So next slide. All right, so here we have our brand new $50 million loan guarantee program. This program was set up specifically to help any business in New York State that has difficulty, again, accessing capital through a bank. So what we have done is we created this loan guarantee program where we're telling the banks we're going to guarantee loans up to $500,000. Let me say that again. We're going to guarantee loans up to $500,000. And we're working with New York State regional banks, community banks, and credit unions through this loan guarantee program, right? So for loans up to $500,000 to local and small businesses. I have to make it a point, and I'm telling my team from now on that whenever we put out a flyer, we should put agribusinesses on it also. I guess what we're saying is that an agribusiness fits into the small business category. So as long as you understand that when you see small business, the agribusiness is definitely included in there. So how would it work? There's going to be announcements coming out soon, what banks are participating, and you'll be able to go to those banks and say, I'm interested in getting a loan. Again, loans up to $500,000. The beauty of the program is when you offer a bank a guarantee, it gives them, it incentivizes them to say yes. So the New York State Loan Guarantee Program will be very helpful to you as you look to grow your business. Stay tuned because more information is coming out about what banks are participating in the program. The next program is called the Main Street Capital Program. So it provides term loans up to $100,000 for startups and early stage businesses. And our lending partner on that is Pursuit Lending Corporation. So how does that work for you? So, you know, if you're a startup, you're a startup. So we want to help startups grow their business. So what the issue with the agribusiness perception in the real world is that everyone thinks we're talking about farms. But we know that is not the reality. There are a lot of small businesses that aren't farmers that are viable, growing businesses that need access to capital. Now, if you're a startup, we can help you, right? And we can get you a loan up to $100,000. So what we're doing now, though, is when we're working with a startup and offering you a loan of $100,000, you still need time to ramp up your business, right? What's the point of giving you a loan of $100,000 and then if you're a startup and then ask you to start payments immediately? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me That's why I created this program, to give you a 1 to 2 year window to grow your startup business. So for the first year, year and a half, 18 months, 2 years, what you'll pay is a small amount of interest. You're not going to start amortizing the principal until you're ready. So we think that within 2 years, you should be ready to do this. So again, New York State is guaranteeing these loans. Right? So obviously, I think that in order for us to incentivize lenders, the word guarantee has to be in our lexicon, right? So lenders love it when you say we'll guarantee a loan, because it takes all the risk out of it for them. So now we're saying early stage businesses, not in business more than 4 years. So in this case here, again, agribusinesses definitely qualify. The Main Street Capital Program, all the information is on our website. It's on the Pursuit website. Again, esd.ny.gov. The next one is Small Business Revolving Loan Fund Participation Program. And what we're doing, again, in this case, though, we're working with credit unions. Right? So what we're doing with credit unions is we are participating with them in loans. So if you go to a credit union and they are a Small Business Revolving Loan Fund participating credit union, we will purchase 35% of that loan, of a loan from them. What does that do? That lowers the risk for them. Right? It's like if you are borrowing $100, we're going to tell them we're going to take off $35 of that. So now they only have the exposure of the $65, which is a big difference for them when it comes to making a decision as to whether to move forward or not. Again, shortly you will have the list of participating credit unions, and you'll be able to go. Those of you who feel comfortable dealing with credit unions and have credit unions in your communities, this will be another way for you to access capital. We're trying to diversify the type of lenders that can help you. So you're looking at CDFI credit unions, CDFI's non-depository, and then you have banks, regional banks, small banks, community banks. We're working with all of them in some way to accelerate your ability to get capital. Again, all this is on our website. Next slide.
Oh, and Ray, before we go on to the next slide, we have some questions, and I just want to add, someone was inquiring about the website. It is in the chat, esd.ny.gov, with the direct link to the SSBCI website where you can filter in through all the different programs that he's talking about right now. A question for you, Ray, from Maria, is what's the guaranteeing criteria?
Hello, Maria. So the guaranteeing criteria really is not, what they're looking for is just your basic credit. Can Maria, what type of business do you have? Can you put in the chat the type of business you have?
And while Maria is answering what kind of business she has, we can go to Laura, who is wondering, her town requires a bond to open a farmer's market, and are you able to help with that at all?
I guess I have to understand when they say a bond, I guess they're looking for a guarantee. The type of bonds we're looking at are more construction bonds. I'm not sure why they would need a bond for you to open up a farmer's market, but the matter is very interesting because we are trying, I think I spoke to you about this. We really want to help the farmers markets throughout the state. So we got to find a way to connect with them and say, okay, how do we help you help your markets grow? One of my team members came up with that to me, said, "Hey, we should help farmers markets." I said, okay, I'm going to be on a call soon. So point blank, Damali, you got to put us in contact. Whoever in agri markets is leading the charge on farmers markets so we can go ahead and help. As far as the question about the bond, I have to get a better understanding why you would need a bond. What's the purpose of the bond? Are they looking for a guarantee? Are they lending you money? I'm just wondering why would they need a bond? So I'm sure I can't answer that question right now, but as I talk directly with the farmers markets, I can get a better understanding why they require a bond and how we may be able to help you get around that. Sorry for
Yeah, she did follow up that it's just in the town code. So I like from my experience with bonds, it's just kind of for them to have that security. Going back to Maria, she says she doesn't own a business herself, but she's working with small scale farmers when it comes to engaging with, I believe, the guarantee program. What would be involved for that guarantee?
They would go to the bank and apply for a loan, right? So the idea is that these farmers, so I think as we go on this program, we go to one of the slides, you're going to see that we created a fund for the agriculture business, right? So just like any lender, when you apply for a loan, you go in, you provide your tax returns, you tell them how much you want, why you want it, and how you think you're going to pay them back. So now you begin the conversation with your banker, the CDFI, the credit union, right? And you will say to them, I am so-and-so. My name is Ray Salaberrios. I own this milk producing company. I need a loan of $50,000. The bank's going to say, well, what do you need the $50,000 for? I want to buy machinery and equipment. I need to stock up on the inventory. Whatever the reason is, you tell the bank. So the bank's going to say, we need 3 years tax returns to show us that you can pay us back. Now the guarantee comes in because the banker may say, you know what, this is good, but it's a little risky, or maybe you don't have enough collateral. They'll come up with many reasons that they may not be able to lend you the money. What the guarantee does is allow them to say yes to you, because we are now minimizing their risk with the guarantee. So, like I said, in about another month, more information on the guarantee program will come out, who the lenders are, and we'll be able to get this up and running and moving forward.
Thank you, Ray. And you're absolutely still on my list regarding farmers market. I'm waiting for the email from your team to start moving things forward on this end.
Okay.
Never forgot about that.
Okay, good.
Move it on.
Next slide. So the link deposit program is an amazing program, and this program is really for those of you who are dealing with a bank, because the farmers and all the agribusiness owners have to have a bank, have to have somewhere to put their money. So you're going to a bank, and you go to your bank. Let's use M&T, because M&T is the #1 link deposit lender in the state. So you go to M&T, and M&T says to you, we want to help you. They approve your loan. Let's say a $50,000 loan, it's approved. And then they'll say the interest rate is, let's say, 9%. But what they'll do is they'll say to you, we can lower your cost of funds by enrolling this loan in the Excelsior Link Deposit Program. They contact us, my team, and my team says, okay, here's the $50,000. We'll deposit $50,000 into M&T Bank. I'm giving M&T a free commercial here because they are really, really good with the link deposit program. So you go to M&T Bank and they approve the loan of $50,000. We'll take $50,000 of New York State capital and deposit it into an M&T branch, and then tell M&T, instead of paying us the interest on this deposit, we want you to lower the cost of capital for the borrower. So if you're going to get a 9% loan, and let's say their CDs are 2%, so we're going to deposit $50,000 into their bank, and in lieu of us receiving a 2% deposit, we'll say lower their rate by the 2%. And that's done for 8 years. So it's an 8-year loan program. So just to give you an example, the way this program is going is really, really going tremendously well. I mean, you think about it, 542 applications were approved in 2024. So $283 million were approved in deposits, right? Assisting $414 million in projects. So those numbers tell the story that Link Deposit is one of the best programs that New York State has going right now. If you don't know about the link deposit, I suggest you look into it. I think the old adage is don't leave money on the table. So if you're going to borrow money from the bank, the first question you ask the bank is, do you participate in the link deposit program? If they say no, you say, why not? And if they say yes, then you make sure you tell them, I want my loan enrolled in the link deposit program. And New York State will not turn you down. So as long as the bank says yes to your loan, then New York State is going to say yes to the subsidy on the link deposit program. So the next one is the JDA Agriculture Fund. Started with $10 million. So the JDA, the Job Development Authority, is another agency that I work with. It's a not-for-profit organization run by New York State. It's a public entity. And so what we did was I asked the board of directors to put aside $10 million. And what we did is that we recruited lenders, and we said to them, can you go out and lend this money to agribusinesses, strictly agribusiness owners? Right? So the idea is to provide low-cost financing, right, to agribusinesses and related industries. So it has to be in the agribusiness sector, though. Right? So it doesn't mean that if I own a grocery store and I sell cheese and milk, I can go to the agriculture loan fund. That doesn't work. You have to be directly in the agribusiness. Right? Either you're providing agriculture products, you're growing them, you're shipping them, you're packing them. So it is something that we want to make sure we help. But the beauty of this program is when we started, we thought, well, I hope we get some kind of activity here. But so far, we have 52 loans supporting $43.6 million in projects in the lifetime as of June 30th, 2024. So these loans, the maximum loan is $250,000. So there are a lot of loans, right? And the lenders are spread out throughout the state. And the lenders are in the agribusiness. They know the agriculture business. So these are CDFIs or local development corporations, Delaware County. So if you live in the Southern Tier, if your business in the Southern Tier, you should get to know the Delaware County Local Development Corporation, right? If you are in the Western region, in Cattaraugus, the Cattaraugus LDC is helpful. So the idea is that we strategically place lenders in agriculture communities, right? We're not doing the agriculture fund in New York City, right? I don't think that makes sense for us, but what we did is really work on upstate New York to increase our presence, increase the access to capital for the small firms that are located in upstate New York. So out of the programs that I have here, the JDA Agriculture Loan Fund is one you all should look into and find out if they can be helpful to you. So as you go through, I think that's the last slide, right? Oh no, one more. Next slide, Damali. Now, this slide here really provides technical assistance. And what does that mean for you, right? So the idea, we have provided funding for eligible technical assistance providers. And these providers are going to offer you legal, accounting, and financial advisory assistance to eligible small business, eligible agribusinesses, by helping them navigate the access to capital through ESD's SSBCI capital programs. Let me stop here for a second and make sure this is clear for everyone. So what we're doing, we have hired technical assistance professionals who if you're looking for a loan and you may not have all your paperwork together, these folks are there to help you get your paperwork together and then put you in contact with one of the lenders on the previous slides. All the programs that we talked about, they will put you in contact with one of those lenders and one of those programs that best suits you. So in fact, the goal of the program is to support city-owned business, socially and economically disadvantaged individuals own businesses. So basically, in the agribusiness, you're a city-owned business. Unless you have your agribusiness on 45th and 5th Avenue, just SETI, right? So you can go, and there's a list. We just started the program, so we are now in the process of finalizing the contracts with the TA providers. And what happens for you is that in about another month, it's going to be listed on our website. It's going to be shouted out throughout the state who the providers are. And we have also enrolled some of the entrepreneurial assistance centers. So this is a key component for us because what we found historically that one of the main issues with accessing capital is preparation, right? Is being prepared to go to that bank, to go to that CDFI, have your paperwork all in order, have your tax returns, financial statements, your business plan, whatever is needed so that you're closer to saying yes. Right? So we just started the program. As you can see, in December of 2024 was approved. So we have finished selecting the CDFIs that are going to act, CDFIs and other entities that will be the TA providers. But I would stay tuned for this because what we want to do is match your business with a TA provider if needed, and then have that TA provider walk you through the process so that you can apply for a loan. So we want to put you in the best position to apply for the loans that we talked about earlier on in the slide presentation. So for you, this is the way to go about it. If you have some doubts, as we move forward with these programs, if you have some doubts about whether you're ready or not, I suggest you contact one of the technical assistance providers. That contact information will be coming to you shortly. Or currently, you can go to any entrepreneurial assistance center in New York State or small business development center in New York State, and they will help you. Because really, it could be daunting to go to a bank, and the best way to go to a bank is prepared. Especially if you have your money in that bank. So if you have a depository relationship with that bank, you want to make sure that you prepare yourself to go in when the time comes and you need access to capital. So actually, there are two people you can call. The next slide is going to give you Ramsey Perry. And Damali, I'm going to update this and give you the other contact from Matthew Kennedy, who should be able to help you. But for now, Ramsey Perry can be your point person. That's his email address. I suggest email is the best way to reach him. Ramsey travels throughout the state. You send him an email and say, Ramsey, I was on the agriculture webinar. I have questions. Can you help me with this program, that program? And Ramsey will put you in contact with the team member to make sure that we have someone who is knowledgeable about the program and can talk to you about the program and move it forward. So I think at this point here, we are 25 minutes in. I'm timing myself because I want to try to make this take as much time as I need. So I think now I'm ready to open up for questions and help and move on to another topic because I'm done with the presentation.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much, Ray. Getting to the questions for anyone else who had additional questions, please continue to type those into the chat. All of this started because for all of our conversations about funding and resource, again, government speaks differently than pretty much, everyone else. And when people are looking for funding sources, specifically, let's say farmer or agriculture, those things that say, small business, that applies to you. So please, please, please consider those as well. So going into the questions that we have, going back to the last slide that you were just talking about, would nonprofits, this is from Maria, would nonprofits who provide technical assistance qualify for this last program? Can you give an example of who will be granted these funds and how farmers could work with these entities to benefit from this resource?
We already selected the lender, so a nonprofit who tries to apply now will not be eligible because we already selected the lenders. The TA providers, I would say, Pursuit, statewide, CDFI is one of the TA providers. And the list will come out. I have them at hand because my team is the one to put them together. Who else? Top of my head. A few providers. There's one provider in the Western region. I just don't have the names in front of me, but we'll get the list to you. And Damari, I'll make sure that my team sends you a list of providers so you can disseminate that information to everyone on this call.
Thank you very much. And that goes back to whenever you have a question for anything that's unresolved after this, that's why you have that email address, outreach@agriculture.ny.gov. Follow up for any additional questions that might pop up. We have another question from Karen. She's interested in the grants or blended capital or grants and loans.
Okay, we don't do grants, Karen. Grants are now difficult to come by, but it just, again, so for the loan, what I always tell individual business owners, let's talk about what you need the loan for, how to prepare you for the loan, how much money do you actually need, and what do you need it for, right? So the idea is that this is one way to help. Now, I'm going to do something that, Damali, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to do this now because I am committed to helping the agribusinesses on this. Now, I'm going to give you my cell phone number right now, right? But the best way to handle this, the only way to handle this is to text me, right? So the idea is I'm going to give you my cell number. You text me your name and how I can help and your contact information, and then one of my team members will get back to you. But if you call, I may pick up, I may not pick up. But if you text, you definitely will get someone calling back. I will tell, do I have time for a quick story?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the reason I'm doing this is because I was in Buffalo a couple of years ago. I was on Woofu Radio, right? Sheila Brown, an African-American woman who owns Woofu Radio station. So I'm on the station, pretty much doing what I'm doing now. And I am going through the process, and it comes to me because I figure I'm on this radio station in Buffalo. How many people are actually listening to this radio station? So I give out my cell phone number. And I say, here's my phone number. And as I'm giving my cell phone number, the DJ says, he's motioning to me, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. So I did it anyway. A couple of weeks later, my phone started blowing up off the hook. 760 area codes. So I answer the calls, talk to people, and I found out that if I want to get in contact with people, they have to be in contact with me. But I also find out that calling me is not the most efficient way of doing this. So texting is the most efficient way of doing it. If you text me your name, your business, your email address, and how I can help, I can have one of my team members contact you directly and follow up and give you the direction you need. So here we go. My cell phone number is 646-599-6493. 646-599-6493.
And I'm putting that in the chat now, everyone.
So again, put in the chat that this works only if you text. If you call, it's not going to work. It's really not going to work. I get a lot of calls in a day, and some people, so I suggest you put a text in. I take the text, I hand my phone over to my team. They look at the texts, and then they'll start making the phone calls and getting back to you. I'm doing this because I want to make sure that you may have questions down the road, and you may say, well, I really want Ray to help me with this, so Ray's going to help you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So I just want to add, we have 10 minutes remaining for those of you that have remaining questions. Again, please put them in the chat. If you have something that follows up, you always have that outreach@agriculture.ny.gov or directly with his team. And I'll just go back to that slide where he shared that team member, or at least Ramsey's name, until we get Matthew Kennedy's. I personally have Ray's number and can attest to, yes, it's better just to text. I'm the same way. Yeah, some days it's just harder to get back to everyone. So just seeing it, being able to pass things on and get things moving, that's just a faster way to do things. I cannot attest this enough. Ray has handed out his number before, and people just sleep on it. People do not do that. Please take advantage of this opportunity and follow up. For those few that have actually spoken to him, he has been great about connecting with the team and seeing here. You got to use with the website. Let's walk you through some things. If none of that works, let's see if we can find something that does work. Ray is awesome about that, and have agricultural community for New York State in mind. And for your more formal title again, I know I only have the senior VP part.
That's it, the Senior Vice President for Capital Access.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry, guys. And with that, so he's the Senior Vice President of Small Business Capital Access at Empire State Development. You have his cell number in the chat, 646-599-6493. You also have in the chat that website address directly to all of those programs that he mentioned, and it also has like a breakdown to help you filter to see which one might be the best fit, and that's esd.ny.gov/SSBCI. I strongly encourage you, please do not sleep on all of these opportunities. Window of opportunity is here. Please engage as best able. And if you're like, here, none of this is working, I'm still confused, you still have that outreach email address. Ray will also be in touch, and I'll be sharing some information regarding farmers markets for those of you that receive the Information Opportunities newsletter. Whenever we have something together, that will be found in there as well. And I don't know, Ray, do you have anything else that should be on the radar?
We're good for now.
Okay. With that, we have some expressing some appreciation. Know that these programs, this funding, this is taking in the feedback where people are saying, like, here, different types of frustration of like trying to get that capital, different ways of like kind of work with their, local banks and institutions. That's where all of this comes from. Government, we are doing best as we can, fast as we can, slow as we must. Please reach out if you have some more information to share or have more questions. And with that, just a final call for any other questions while we're in the moment. Otherwise, please use that email address that's on the screen right now. I'm going to hold I'm seeing dots moving vigorously right now. All right, so there's just a lot of appreciation. Thank you all for attending, and know that this information is not limited to those that are just here. Please share this with others. We want people to know these opportunities exist, all of these resources to find out about them, all of that. This recording will be available on the Diversity in Agriculture webpage on the Department of Agriculture Markets website, I want to say, within the coming weeks. And yes, thank you for the time. Thank you very much, Ray. And looking forward to following the team.
Great. Take care now.